When Midjourney Medical full body ultrasound and AI health show up in the same sentence, it can sound like science fiction. Midjourney, best known as one of the most popular AI image generation tools, has now announced that it is entering the healthcare space with a system that scans the human body in water in about 60 seconds using ultrasonic waves. But in this video, we're going to look at this development from a different angle. Is this really the future of medicine? Or is it one of the most impressive looking health technology stories that also needs to be read very carefully? Today, we're not going to focus on the question, is the Midjourney scanner a miracle? Because miracle language in health can be dangerous. Instead, we're going to look at a much more important question. If a massive amount of image data about our bodies could be collected every month or even every day, would that make us healthier or just more anxious? At the end of the video, we'll share an important point to keep in mind when evaluating this news. Midjourney has officially announced a new division called Midjourney Medical, and it has drawn a lot of attention. The company describes it as ultrasonic CT, or more simply, full-body ultrasound. The claim is pretty big. No radiation, no strong magnetic field, just sound, water, and a scan that takes about 60 seconds. This topic matters for Alinart Health because on our channel, we talk about health, healthy lifestyle, mental health, nutrition tips, and science-based health decisions. To support us, please remember to like this video and subscribe if you want to watch more science-based health and wellness content. What do you think? Does the idea of a full-body scan feel reassuring, or could too much data make people worry more than they need to? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments. Medical imaging is considered one of the most powerful tools in modern healthcare. CT scans, MRI, traditional ultrasound, PET, and similar methods all stand out as tools that help doctors understand what is happening inside the body. But every method has both strengths and limitations. A traditional CT scan is an X-ray based imaging method, and it involves ionizing radiation. MRI does not use radiation, but it works with strong magnetic fields. For some people, the enclosed space, the scan time, the cost, or implant compatibility can be an issue. Traditional ultrasound is common, fast, and radiation-free, but it often depends on the operator's skill, the imaging angle, and a limited field of view. This is exactly where Midjourney's claim becomes interesting, placing the body in water, passing it through a ring-shaped sensor system, and trying to move beyond the limited field of view of traditional ultrasound to create a more complete body map. But there is a very important distinction here. Just because a technology is radiation-free does not automatically mean it is necessary for everyone, able to diagnose, or a replacement for medical supervision. In health, more data can sometimes support earlier awareness, but it can also create unclear findings, false positive results, unnecessary tests, and anxiety. That's why in this video, we'll look at both the excitement and the limits. Number 1. What exactly did Midjourney announce? According to the company's official statement, Midjourney Medical is working on a new device designed to scan the body using ultrasonic waves. The user enters the water, moves downward on a platform, and the body passes through a ring surrounded by sensors. These sensors send out sound waves and collect the returning signals. Then the system tries to turn those wave changes into images. Midjourney calls this ultrasonic CT. But that name needs to be read carefully, because a traditional CT scan means computed tomography based on X-rays, meaning radiation. This system, however, does not use X-rays. It uses ultrasound waves. That's why the word CT is technically debatable here, and it sounds more like marketing language. Number 2. The technology behind the device is not something Midjourney built completely from scratch. According to official SEC filings, Midjourney made a co-development and licensing agreement with Butterfly Network for ultrasound-on-chip technology. Butterfly is a known company in the medical ultrasound field. This shows that the project is not just social media hype. There is real hardware and a real licensing agreement behind it. Number 3. Midjourney's goal is not just a scanner, but a spa experience. The company says it plans to open its first location in San Francisco toward the end of 2027. The spa is said to include a hot tub, sauna, cold plunge, and scanner rooms. In other words, the model is positioned more like a wellness and technology experience than traditional hospital imaging. From a marketing perspective, that is very powerful. because people are interested in a health experience that feels more comfortable, more lifestyle focused, and less like a hospital environment. But that same point also calls for caution. A spa experience should not be confused with a medical evaluation. If data collected from the human body is presented like a fun dashboard, some viewers may mistake it for a real clinical diagnosis, and that can create false expectations. Number 4. At the first stage, it seems the company is not starting with the claim that it can diagnose disease. Midjourney first aims to offer body composition maps, meaning maps of body composition. Measurements such as fat, muscle, structures around organs, and changes over time could be interesting for healthy lifestyle tracking. For example, weight by itself is a very rough measurement. Two people can weigh the same, but their muscle, fat, and visceral fat distribution can be very different. Here, the most accurate approach may be this. If this type of technology is validated, it could help us better understand body composition and changes over time. But for now, it would not be right to present it as a system that detects diseases, replaces MRI, or makes medical diagnoses. Number 5. It would not be fair to say this has no scientific foundation at all. There are academic studies on whole body or whole cross-sectional ultrasound tomography. Researchers are trying to use ultrasound waves in ring-like systems that interact with water to image wider sections of the body. Early studies in this area suggest potential for a wider field of view, less dependence on the operator, and imaging without radiation. But potential and a clinically proven routine screening tool are not the same thing. One of the biggest mistakes in health technology is turning success in a lab or an early prototype directly into a public health recommendation. The device's accuracy, how well it separates different tissues, how it performs across different body types, its false positive and false negative rates, how doctors would interpret this data, and whether the results truly lead to better health outcomes all need to be tested separately. Number 6. The full body screening trend is already controversial. In recent years, whole body MRI services have become more popular. Some people say they have benefited from these scans, while some experts emphasize that in asymptomatic people, meaning people without symptoms, many uncertain findings can show up, because the human body is not a perfect machine. Small cysts, benign structures, age-related changes, or findings with low clinical importance may appear. Some of these can lead to extra tests, biopsies, follow-up appointments, and anxiety. That's why the Midjourney Medical news should not be viewed only as a technology story. It should also make us ask the question, how much health data can actually be collected? Number 7. The topic of AI segmentation needs to be explained very carefully. On Midjourney's scan gallery page, raw images are shown alongside AI segmentation layers. This may make organs or tissues easier to understand on a screen. But just because AI places labels on an image, that does not automatically mean it is making a clinical decision. For AI-assisted devices in medicine, safety, accuracy, transparency, data quality, and regulatory processes are extremely important. Number 8. Data privacy is also very important. A full body scan is not just a photo. It is highly sensitive health data about the internal structure of your body. If a system like this becomes widespread, one of the most important questions will be this: where will this data be stored? Who will be able to access it? How will it be shared with insurance companies or third parties? And what happens if a user wants their data deleted? Midjourney says it takes privacy seriously and that it will share more details closer to launch. But from the viewer's perspective, the healthiest approach is this. With every new technology that produces health data, we should not only look at how fast it is. The answer to the question, what will happen to my data, should also be transparent. Now let's go back to the question from the beginning of the video. Could Midjourney Medical really be the future of medicine? Maybe it could be part of it, but today it is too early to present it as a definite health revolution. In my opinion, the most important part of this news is not that the scanner takes 60 seconds. It is that health tracking in the future may shift from one-time tests toward data maps that show change over time. If a person's muscle mass, fat distribution, the appearance of structures around the organs, or certain tissue features can be tracked over time, this could give doctors and individuals richer context. Because body data alone is not health. data only becomes information when it is interpreted in the right context, and information only becomes useful when it is used safely, based on evidence and in a way that is personalized to the individual. So, to put it simply, a full-body scan can give you more images, but for better health decisions, you need evidence, expert interpretation, and the right follow-up before the image itself. There are three main points to keep in mind about this news. First, the Midjourney Medical story is based on a real official announcement. The company says it is developing a full-body ultrasound system that works in water, uses ultrasonic waves, and takes about 60 seconds. Second, this technology is interesting and worth following scientifically. There are also academic studies in the field of ultrasound tomography. The idea of imaging that is radiation-free, fast, and has a wider field of view could be important for health technology. Third, right now, it would not be accurate to present this as a scan that replaces MRI, automatically finds diseases, or should be done by everyone. Diagnostic use requires FDA processes, clinical validation, data security, and interpretation by doctors. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not personal medical advice. Before making a decision about any scan, test, imaging method, or health technology, especially if you have a chronic condition, take medication, are pregnant, have an implant, or are experiencing symptoms, the safest approach is to consult your own healthcare provider. If you enjoy science-based health tech breakdowns like this, please like the video and subscribe to Alinart Health. Do you think full-body scans will become part of routine checkups in the future? Or could too much data create more anxiety? Please share your answer with us in the comments. See you in the next video.